Good morning. Today is Friday, September 27th, 2013 at quarter of 10 in the morning. And today is day 21 of my sugar withdrawal program, the T-30 method. So 9 more days left. And this drink now has 5 teaspoons of sugar or 20 grams of sugar. Let me just take a sip. So I weighed myself this morning and I'm actually back up to 193.5. So I gained like 2 pounds yesterday. I went out and had some drinks and food and stuff last night. So I probably won't be weighing myself like on a daily basis. I think I'm definitely losing weight slowly over time on this program. I mean, definitely. But there's going to be variability from day to day. So if I stick with the 1 or 2 pounds per week, I'll be sort of happy. I finished this book yesterday, Salt, Sugar, and Fat. So yesterday the section was on salt. And, you know, salt, you know, I guess fat has been associated with cardiovascular disease, heart disease, and you know, clogging up your arteries, basically. Sugar, obesity, and salt, I guess these are just general summaries, but salt sort of associated with hypertension and high blood pressure since the 1980s. And my blood pressure is sort of, can be high, but it's sometimes normal too. So I should probably be concerned about salt. This particular section is, this series is about sugar. But it's interesting to know about these 3 substances that are being used in processed foods that are, we have these ancient desires, I guess, and the food conglomerates are sort of, I guess you could say, taking advantage of that by making us consume more of them than we normally might. And the main thing I got from the salt is I probably do eat a lot of salt, and the most interesting thing to me was about the potato chips. Like, as I'm doing this program with the sugar withdrawal program, one of the things I am sort of treating myself to is 2 of the things that they say are not good for you. In the fat category, I like to eat cheese, actually, and that's bad for saturated fats. And I do like to get like chips or Doritos or Fritos or something like that, which I have been eating. So maybe I'll have to cut those out. But let me just read a couple of sections here. This is about the potato chip. In 2011, the New England Journal of Medicine published the latest results. Every 4 years since 1986, the participants had exercised less, watched TV more, and gained an average of 3.35 pounds. The researchers wanted to know what foods were causing the largest share of the weight gain. So they parsed the data by the caloric content of the food being eaten. The top contributors to the weight gain included red meat and processed meats, sugar-sweetened beverages, and potatoes, including mashed and French fries. But far and away, the largest weight-inducing food, outstripping all others, was the potato chip. The chip, at about 160 calories an ounce, led to a 1.69 pound gain in weight in each of the 4-year study periods. By comparison, sweets and desserts accounted for less than half a pound. So this particular study, which had 120,000 people in it, attributed a lot of the weight gain not so much to sweets as to potato chips. So I thought that was interesting, this one particular study. So basically the message I'm getting, you know, I'm going to cut out sweets, and then in the fats category, I think I'm just going to try to not eat as much cheese, basically, and processed meats, maybe. And also sort of cut back on the chips in terms of the salt category. But like I said, this series is mainly about sugar, so I'm not going to deny myself those things. But you know, after reading this book, it's good to have that in the back of my mind. I didn't realize that, you know, potato chips were such a big impact, had such a big impact on people. Okay, there was another little section I wanted to read. Okay, this is just talking about the correlation of sweetened drinks and obesity. Okay, so this guy, when this guy Dunn looks at the data, he sees soda as a leading cause of obesity, which is sort of what I'm focusing on. The trend lines, in fact, are a perfect match. Soda consumption took off in the 1980s, and while it has dropped in recent years, the intake of other sugary drinks like sports aids and vitamin waters and chocolate milk has risen sharply. By that measure, no one should expect that people would be getting healthier. I think also in an earlier section, they had measured the correlation, and it was like 0.999 between soda consumption or sweetened beverages and obesity. So for me, and also there's been you know, some recent research on the association between sugar and obesity. So for me, that's what this series is about. I keep saying that, but I'm a little discombobulated today because I went out for drinks last night. But so of these three, salt, sugar, and fat, I'm concentrating on the sugar. I think that's where the biggest bang for the buck is. You know, this book started off with sugar. You know, fats and salts, I learned a little bit about that, and areas to cut back on. So I finished this book. I would definitely recommend this book. Like whenever I go to the grocery store now, I'll see and look at the labels more, the games, I guess you could say, that the food conglomerates are using to get us to eat food that may taste good and may appeal to our primitive natures, but are not good for us in, you know, in quantity. Okay, so the next book I'm going to read is this book. I just got this at the library. Fat Chance, Beating the Odds Against Sugar, Processed Food, Obesity, and Disease. And this is by this guy, Robert Lustig, who's the guy who wrote sort of a semi-viral video on YouTube called Sugar, the Bitter Truth. And it's sort of the newer theory that perhaps the biggest cause of obesity in America and the world is concentrated fructose, which is found in sugar, table sugar, and high fructose corn syrup. So I'll be reading that next. So that's it. Things are going good with the program, and that's it for today. So thanks for watching.